How you doing, Steven?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to chat with you first and foremost, but also shout about Bubble and Squeak. I'd love to hear what it was about Evan's concept that really drew you to not only want to be a part of the cast, but to help produce it.
Yeah, you know, when I first read his script, I was just amazed at the boldness of its tone, the assuredness of like what it was trying to communicate. I think for me, it was also the fact that I didn't have a full like grasp of what it was trying to say off the page. It wasn't like, when I say that, I don't mean like, oh, it wasn't saying anything. I was just like, I don't know how to put this to words, and that intrigued me. So, you know, I'm looking for chances like that to kind of speak beyond what we know, maybe in ways that we don't even know that we're trying to say.
It sounds like this movie is going to really create a lot of discussion, so I look forward to seeing that. So you've also worked with so many iconic filmmakers, both in front of the camera and behind, who Evan already reminds me of, whether it be Bong Joon-ho, whether it be Boots Riley. What was your experience like working with Evan in comparison to maybe to some of these other visionaries you've worked with?
You know, I think the common thread that I see, you know, every director is their own unique individual, their own unique artist. I think the common thread that I personally look for is, does that person have a point of view, and are they courageous enough to kind of like let it reveal itself and say it? And I think all the directors that you mentioned, the thing that they share that I'm very thankful for is they never really had like a stranglehold on how to make the film. Oh wow! It was really collaborative, and those are the best people to work with.
That's amazing. So what was one of the big things that you found you were really able to help bring to this film from the producer's chair in comparison to maybe being in front of the camera?
I think it was that, just preserving, as a producer, I really wanted to preserve his voice. I really wanted to preserve kind of the film kind of revealing itself over time. I think when you get a script like this, you can try to like mold it and frame it and try to make it make sense in a way that we have seen before. But I think for us, our exercise was really about, with Christina, was just like making sure that Evan felt protected and supported, and then bringing in incredible artists together that could, you know, collaborate with us on the same thing.
We definitely need more of that in the indie world, so I'm glad you got to have that. For my very final question, obviously a big fan of Invincible here. I'm looking forward to Mark's blue suit arc. I know in the comics that gets very dark. Can you sort of share how dark the show might get in comparison to the comics in that side of things?
You know, Simon and Robert are really, you know, Robert having created the whole thing, they're very serious about this show. It's not just kind of like something that they're making after he has made his comic. It's a very serious thing, and so I think they're taking all of it. I don't want to say serious again, but they're trying to make something really great and something that stands on its own. And so we certainly will go to the places, I'm sure, that people are wanting them to go, and maybe we'll go beyond them too, because we're making them in the booth. You know, we're making it. It doesn't feel like we're so precious.
They do. They still do, but they did like
to hit the same tonality or be too rigid about it all. I think like even in the booth you find like new ways of doing things, or the scripts are a little bit different. But yeah, we should all feel assured that it's Robert at the helm of it, so it's going to be great.
Well, you guys have killed it thus far, and I look forward to seeing that. But in the meantime, I really do look forward to finally getting in the theater for this one.
Awesome.
It's been on my watches for a while.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Good, you?
Good to see you again, and excited to be here. I can't believe you have 2 movies this year at Sundance. That's certainly a rare occurrence. How does it feel for you to be able to show 2 vastly different movies behind you at this year?
It's amazing and overwhelming, but like I'm so excited and like truly mainly proud of my directors, who are both first timers and are both the sweetest guys and just have worked their ass off, and I can't wait for them to see their movies at the Eccles with 1,000 people in the audience. Yeah.
I really can't wait to get in there and watch this one as well, and then together later this week.
Yeah.
I know you got to get in there. So one other quick question. Last we spoke was for Day Shift.
Oh wow.
I was the one who was pulling movies off the shelf at your request.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that behind you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I pulled out Scream 4, and we got upset. Allison wasn't on the cover.
I was just talking on the ride here with Allison talking about Scream 4.
That is so funny. I love that. Full circle for us.
We felt you in the air.
I'm still hopeful that you guys will get a day shift too. Have you heard any rumblings about that happening yet?
There's whispers. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but I would love more than anything to reunite with Jamie Foxx. He is the most fun, incredible acting partner in the world.
You guys really put something together fun in that first one, and I hope you get the chance to do it. But again, in the meantime, really forward to getting in there. So Dave, thanks for taking the time with us again. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
So I'm really excited about this film. I haven't watched it yet, but I love already just the concept. It feels like the perfect mix of absurdist humor, but also very moving drama. What is that like from the writing side of things, really finding that balance?
That's a great question. I think of myself as a writer. It's funny. I'm still stepping into the director role. Finding that balance, it's tough. It's like the beauty of directing is that there's so many tools and so many people to help find that tone. It's not just you in a little coffee shop writing a screenplay. So to be able to, ground it through with the cinematographer and then realize it's too grounded and be able to pull that needle back through the music later. You have so many people, so many stops along the way to help get that needle in the right place. It's like such a collaborative, tone is such a collaborative thing. Like that's what doesn't exist on the page. So very, very grateful to the collaborators who, would do so many drafts to try to find, because that's the trick of this movie, is to find that precise spot.
Well, and speaking of collaborators, I feel like Himesh and Sarah have the big responsibility of finding that balance as well. What was it like, really making that search to find the perfect two people to lead your story?
So I came up through theater, and I'd seen Sarah doing theater. So I knew that she was someone who could do this from the minute I met her, but really from before that, from when I'd seen her. The trick with them and finding Himesh, it's a tricky one because you almost need an anti-chemistry, because they're two people who do not totally get along. So that's it's one thing to cast for chemistry, but to cast for chemistry of people who love each other but might not see eye to eye is really hard. So I think that the trick for us was to play it dead serious and not lean into comedy, and just find two actors who are two of the best dramatic actors working who also happen to be funny.
That's amazing. Well, I really can't wait to see him. And so for my final question, what's the big thing you're really looking forward from audiences taking away from this film?
We would have a good time.
I would love for audience. I loved for it to speak to anyone who. I guess it speaks to for me, like people taking a sort of a circuitous road through life, just like this film sort of took a roundabout route to get made. I think that somewhere in there is a little message about maybe embracing some of the wines along the way. So I'd love for people to take that away.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, with all the people you've got involved, I'm sure you've nailed it just right. So again, can't wait to see it. Thank you for taking the time.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks. You too.
I'm really excited to chat with you for Bubble and Squeak. I mean, this seems like such a fascinating movie just from the concept alone. I'd love to hear what it was about Evan's concept or the script that really drew you to want to be a part of the film.
It kind of was the concept. I was kind of very intrigued, and then when I read the script, it really did blow me away in terms of its originality. Obviously, I've never read anything that's about this like this, and he clearly had such a singular vision from the get-go.
For sure.
I was just excited to sort of get on board and see that vision through.
Now, one of the interesting things that he just talked about with us was how he had to find sort of an anti-chemistry between his two lead actors.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear what that was like for you, finding that dynamic and that rapport with Sarah as filming.
Are you asking for more films?
Well, in my opinion, we got on like a house on fire from the very beginning. We'd exchanged a couple of emails, but we didn't meet until we got to Estonia and a few days away from rolling. So I felt like we were going to get on. We've got a lot of mutual friends, and I was correct. We got on really well. So then you feel free to just kind of suggest things, try things, and really dig into that sort of the essence of what Evan was trying to get to. How they keep missing each other is kind of so much of what this film's about.
Having that trust with a partner is really important on screen, so I'm glad you got to have that. What is one of the big things you're really are looking forward to audiences taking away from this film?
Oh, it's a great ride. It's I think Evan describes it as a screwball comedy. It is that. It's very funny. It's very strange in the most beautiful way, and I think as with any good film, it'll spark discussion and theorizing and all sorts of things like that. But I just hope people have a good time. It's a really fun trip to the cinema.
Well, I really look forward to getting to dive into it. I haven't checked it out yet. But for my very final question, I was a big fan of the franchise, so I am kind of disappointed you guys aren't getting a season 2. How does it feel for you when you heard that news that was happening?
Yeah, it was really disappointing, obviously, because I loved making that show. I really, really adored it. So I'm sad for everyone involved because I really, I loved making it because of those people. And so I'm sad we won't all get to do it again. But it was a great time and people have enjoyed it.
Well, I hope you get the chance to work on something else in the future with all of them again. But in the meantime, I look forward to I'm not blowing smoke. I do look forward to this one. So thank you, Himesh. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I know you got to get in there. So just real quick, I'd love to hear, Evan was talking about how you and Himesh had to form a sort of anti-chemistry to find your character's dynamic.
like that.
I'd love to hear what it was like finding that with Himesh, both prior to and during filming.
Well, to be honest, there's so much on the page. Like, there's a rhythmic kind of motion to the thing that Evan really created with these two mad characters. And I met Himesh for the first time a few days before shooting in Estonia, and we had a few days rehearsal, and we quickly had to find this kind of, they have this rhythm where it's almost as though they could answer each other's sentences, but at the same time there's this kind of brewing textured animosity. So we kind of snapped into the rhythm of the language quite quickly, and I think that's what helped us.
I can imagine it really helped create a creative bond, so I love that you got to have that, and I can't wait to get in there and see it after this. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.